Welcome back, everybody, to Shoulder Tap. The man you see screen right is Mr. Mick, looking amazing as always. Beautiful mustache. Real quick, Mick, before we start Shoulder Tap, we got to do an influencer update here on our live leaderboard. We got Isaac Rivera up $1,400. Dakota, Coach Dakota, up over $11,000 today. Pinsing Ding up over $8,500. Wang Jun, $5,700. And the star of the day is Nathan N., almost up $60,000. Mark D also up $6,300. But boy, Mick, we're starting to see some real big numbers from our live funded traders today on a Monday. We're about halfway through the trading day, and we got Nathan N up almost $60,000. Mick, what do we make of this, man? How about it?
Damn right. Well, the Nathan trade's pretty awesome because I was watching him this morning. He had 15 on, caught a big move, held on to it. That was over $57,000 he made in a 45-minute span. He got in right at the market open. 15 minutes after stocks opened and peeled it off. So that was 45 minutes. He made $57,000. Reached out to him about locking it in, and I only got voicemail, but I did see he had a stop in protecting a heck of a lot of those profits of the 57,000. He's been pretty quiet in the account since then. I thought he might have locked it in and called it a day, but I see he's back in the markets right now, giving about 3,000 of that back. But with 15 on, Andre, I don't know if he's up another 10 grand or down 10 grand from that 57 he was up. But either way, we got the message across that we want him to lock in a large percentage of this significant winning day. We're going to take a look at his trade report here in a little bit, but I do have some other shout outs and some more. I know you get the updates dropped in on the live traders and what they're doing. I've got some more real time because I grabbed these numbers right before I turned my chair around and came on. So Pinsin's up 12,400 today in his live account. Prince is up 3,300 in the live account. Wang, I think you mentioned, up 7,000. Isaac Rivera, this is actually an old number. I didn't get to see where he was at, but he was up 1,500 earlier today. Nicholas T up 3,100, and then Dakota gave me a nice little jab during fast markets when a friendly jab, just like my friendly jabs at the roast last week. He was talking to JD, and JD passed along his question to me. Do I like apples? Well, yes, Dakota. I like them apples you got. If you guys know the movie reference there, how do you like them apples? Because, he's up over $11,000 today. Really good bounce back after being down 9,000 and having somewhat of a rough week. So I'm kicking the jab back over to him. But it's all in good fun, traders. Obviously, he's one of the top dogs here at Topstep, and we got a good relationship where we talk back and forth on a regular basis. So all in good fun. Me roasting him is just for fun because he's a good sport and he's trading really well. So it's just, nothing really there. So, Andre, before we get into the trading cards, I know I had mentioned last week on Shoulder Tap that we had a day where we called up 17 XFAs to live accounts, which was our biggest day thus far as calling people up. Well, it put us at a really big transfer for the week. It was our most transfers last week from XFA to live than we have ever before. 37 XFA to live call-ups, and during that time, we only lost 11 live accounts, or closed 11 live accounts down yesterday. For those of you that were watching last week, I did have a gravestone on one of the Shoulder Tap cards, but that's a net change of 26 people added to the prop group, which is really, really exciting. That says we're finding good talent. We're finding good traders. We want to see that trading continue. Market environments always change, but if you're managing your money, should continue to profit, or at least be able to stop the bleeding during those, different market environments. With that, the big story of the day is Nathan making 57 grand. I mean, that's a lot to make on pretty much one trade. He had some other trading, but it was that big trade that he had that he wrote out and that made all that money for him. So I'm going to feature him on the first trading card. He's pretty early. This live account is in its infancy. What you're going to see here on the trading card is only activity from his first 4 trading days in the account. Today is day 5. So overall, in the first 4 days, he's not been profitable. He started with a $30,000 account balance in the live account, whittled it down to about $17,000 in those first 4 days. And then today, he's well ahead. So, I think I'll start by saying, the metrics they speak for themselves. You can see
Yeah,
his
they do.
average daily P&L in the 150K account. He's hit the daily loss limit every single day since he started, 0% winning days. The winning trade percentage is really low too.
Yeah.
He's been trading anywhere from 2 to 15 contracts. I'm going to say it's so impressive to take what he took out of the markets today, 57 grand. It's a big winning day. It takes a lot of guts. I think it's too early to say if this
I was
guy
gonna say, yeah.
is a big swinger because, he might have 4 losing days in a row with 3,000, but then obviously he's got the guts to stick it out and ride out a big position where he's almost making 60 grand. So we'll see if he can do that again. Andre, I could very well be okay with seeing 4 days in a row of daily loss limits if this guy is putting up $10,000, $15,000 winning days, almost $60,000 winning days in the mix of that. What we don't want to
Yeah.
see is just, and we've seen it before with some of our other big swingers. They have a lot of losing days in a row, and then their biggest winning days are, maybe 6 grand, 12 grand. Like that's nothing to bat an eye at, but
No.
I'd really like to continue seeing more days like this out of Nathan if we're going to see those daily loss limit days from him.
Right.
I do like that he's scaling in. You can see his average winning trade per contract is, like only $230. So that tells me he's not slapping on the size initially and then riding out big moves. He hasn't really had the chance to, though, because he is trading such large size and the market's gone against him. But average losing trade per contract, a little bit bigger than the winners. I don't think he's really caught his stride in this market, but again, did ride out something really nice today. Looking at the trade report, there's one day that I really don't like to see here. I mean, and that's the day, Andre, you can see he was up $4,500 at one point and on Thursday of last week, and then he finished the day down 3,000. So there's something there.
Something's here, Mick. I'm not sure. Obviously, the day what he's doing today speaks for itself. But it's the lead up the previous days. I think time will only tell how this trader how he proceeds, so to speak. But clearly, he's shown the ability to put up massive numbers like today. But the first 4 days can't be ignored, I would say. So it's interesting to see how you guys proceed with a trader like this because I think this thing can go any direction. It's kind of how I'm reading. This can go anyway. And obviously the numbers, like I said, speak for itself today, but we know what's happened prior. So this should be a story we should keep. Let's follow this story for a couple days and see how this proceeds. But we definitely have something brewing here.
Yeah, we're definitely going to keep going with the story because now, my team's eyes are on him and everybody here at Topstep, including our viewers, everybody's watching what he's doing.
Yeah.
I think something that we've talked about, semi-regularly is these accounts that have big balances and the maintenance levels. Now, today's only day one in the live. Today's only the first winning day in the live account, so they're still going to have to string together 4 more winning days of $200 or more in order to take a payout, Andre. But I think at least early on, if Nathan is watching, I'm going to really want to see. I'd like him to, if he's going to take a payout, don't take a massive one because it's still to be determined if this is someone who might take 50% of their account balance out and then go and have those multi-daily loss limit losing days in the market. For someone who can take this much out of the market in a single day in 45 minutes, we want to keep them in the account so they can continue taking advantage of opportunities like they took in that 45-minute window this morning. So really good stuff here. I mean, I'll tell you, it's fun watching the profits. Like from my end of the things, Andre, I've got the board so I can see everybody's trading activity, open positions, the P&Ls, the closed P&Ls, the open P&Ls, and to provide an update to our TV production team saying, Nathan's up 30 grand. Nathan's up 35 grand. Up, it's 45 grand. It's 55 grand. Oh, he closed it out up 57 grand, all in the matter of 20 minutes. I mean, that gets everybody's blood flowing. That kind of stuff is like reminiscent of being down on the trading floor for me, where it's all super fast paced, very exciting, lots of energy. Kind of brings me back to those times, even though it's just like the electronic trading. So big shout out for Nathan. Very happy for you. I'm tempted to look over my shoulder and see where he's at with this current position that he's in. I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
I'm not. Should I do it, Andre?
Take a peek real quick, because real quick, I give you a quick update on the markets here, because we got the S&Ps making new highs on the day, Dow making new highs as well, Nasdaq lagging a little bit behind, but we are seeing S&Ps trading above 50-40, trading 50-43. Look to the upside there. We also are seeing Dow taking a move to the higher, about 7 points off the highs at 38,472. High there is 38,479. So we're seeing some moves there. Gold hasn't been doing much today. Gold's taking a breather from the last couple of minutes, the last couple of weeks, I should say, where that market's been rocking and rolling. Crude trading just above $82, $82.09. So that being said, we are starting to see some movement to the upside. Some people got stuck short in the hole. I wonder what that delta is. We did see a decent short delta of the ES of minus 8,200. And Mick is back. How about that? I bought time for Mick to go take a check on Nathan's trade. Mick, what's the update on that trade?
Not good news. We still got we got a big position on, and we're back to 41,000 on the day, which is exactly when I called Nathan this morning. And I told him, I said, I see where your protective stop is to lock in these profits. He was at 50 grand or so on the day. And I was like, hey, if you're going to keep trading, or at least in this position, I was like, you're up 50. Let's make sure we're walking away up $40,000. Worst case scenario. I talk about it all the time. You want to, with significant profits, you want to capture at least 50% of your equity high. So that's a good rule of thumb. But as those profits become more and more significant, like 57, I called them at 50. I wouldn't tell someone who's up $50,000 in a day, oh, great, if you continue trading, lock in half of it. That's saying you're up 50 grand, walk away with 25 grand. 50 grand, super significant. So you're going to want to keep, the more significant it becomes, the larger of a percentage you want to lock it in. So you go from saying, hey, lock in 50% of it to, probably 80% of it, which is exactly where I told him. I told him, if you're up 50, lock in 40,000 of it, and that's 80% of your equity high for the day. That's really, really important when you're a trader that is going into new territory where you're seeing yourself having new P&L highs all time during the day. You want to, if you're finding yourself having your biggest winning day ever, you do want to be locking in larger portions of that biggest day ever than you have on smaller, still significant profitable days. So we'll see how this shakes out when
we'll see how that plays out. All right, Mick, we got about 10 minutes left here in Shoulder Tap, but Nathan does deserve a lion's share of the time today here on Shoulder Tap, because it is the story of the day. First day of big trading week. So we'll keep it moving here. Who do we got next here, Mick?
Let's go over to Eddie S. Andre, I wanted to talk about Eddie because I don't think he's gotten much of a spotlight. He has been trading well in his live account over the course of 32 days. He's profitable. You see the average daily P&L of $458. I like him because he had a $13,000 week last week, and that was coming off 4 losing days in a row. So he was coming off it was a 5-day losing streak, 5-day to the tune of about $5,000. Turned that around, got payback last week with $13,000. So over the last 10 sessions, he's up a net like $8,300.
Okay.
Excuse me. Yeah, that's right. I think my math's right there. Anyways, good stuff here. I wanted to talk about him because he's a profitable trader. He's also a trader who's not in the biggest account size. You can see here on the trading card, like his biggest, I guess we didn't get it into the trading card here. His best day is $5,600, Andre, and his worst day is only $1,100. So he, on his best day, is doing 5 times better than his worst. And then what we do have here is his average winning day is about $2,200, while he's only risking $1,000 per day. So I'd like to attribute a good amount of his success to the fact that he's not trading in the biggest account size, and he's got that $1,000 daily loss limit that's containing the downside risk and the losses while still being able to take quite a bit of money out of the markets, not trading massive size. What's he got going on the trading size? I think I wrote down.
Eddie had a nice day on Friday as well. So this isn't the first time Eddie's gotten some shine here, and much deserved. So Eddie's trading quite well. So yeah, you were saying here, Mick.
Yeah, that was very, very last Friday was very, very close to his biggest winning day. He made $5,560 when his biggest winning day was that $5,651. What was I looking at? Oh, he's only trading one to three contracts though, Andre, too. So it's pretty impressive. You know, you start getting into catching a piece of the trend for the day. Most of his hold times aren't that long, but you know, he's finding the right spots because, you know, being able to make over $5,000 on a 3-lot is really good, but it's not something that is really uncommon too. You don't have to have massive size on to take, you know, thousands of dollars out of the markets. I always say it's pretty easy to make or lose $1,000 trading a 1-lot. He's showing that he can almost make $6,000 doing up to 3 contracts. So there's very few things that I don't like here. He's keeping the math on his side. I mean, look, Andre, he's only got 47% winning days and only 47% winning trades. But, you know, there's good stuff happening here. I'd like to see him after last week take another payout. He took $5,000 in a payout from this account. It doesn't have to be a big payout, but Eddie, you know, do reward yourself when you have a nice big winning week like last week, even if it's, you know, $500. Do that. I know we're kind of wanting to down on time, Andre, but we do have a little bit more time for one other shout out. It's all shout outs today, no shoulder taps. And I want to talk about Nathaniel.
Okay.
So Nathaniel also had a nice week last week. He's been profitable since he's been live. He's got 22 days under his belt in the live account. And this is someone who there's some areas for improvement, but overall profitable. I would say Nathaniel, he's trading a little bit bigger. His best day, you know, he's having some bigger swings, and it's not really translating to a ton in the way of profits. This is kind of like the 2 steps forward, 2 steps back kind of thing. But he is, maybe I could say it's 2.5 steps forward and only 2 steps back, because the average daily P&L is pretty low for someone whose average winning day is about $1,000. Average losing day is not quite as big as their average winning day, which is good. But their best day in this account is $2,000, while their worst day in the account is $3,000 at that daily loss limit. So that's something that I'd like them to think about a little bit. They're only putting up 40% winning trades, but this is a good example of keeping the math on your side, where you only need to be right 40% of the time if your risk reward is there. And he's got pretty much a 2-to-1 risk reward with that average winning day. Average winning trade is right around $800, where the average losing trade is only minus $400. So in any trading account, that's going to be a recipe for success. You can have 40% winning trades and be profitable if your risk reward is 2-to-1 or better. If he were finding different trade opportunities, and I'm not suggesting that he do, where he could maximize that risk reward and maybe go 3-to-1, then we'd certainly see that average daily P&L be quite a bit higher than it is right now. So I think a personal loss limit would be helpful for Nathaniel. I say that because we don't want to see your worst day being minus 3,000 when the best day is 2,000. I think there's something there. And I'm seeing that he is someone who is definitely trying to catch a piece of the trend for the day with these hold times. Average hold time is 1 hour and 34 minutes on the winners. He's staying in his losers for about 2 hours and 15 minutes. So cutting those losses a little bit earlier. Remember, like, one of the biggest things about being successful trading is just being patient with the losers. We want to see, You don't always have to see it, but we want to see some instant gratification. Now, again, the trade reports don't let me kind of break down whether or not those losing trades, the time spent in them was, a good chunk of that time spent in the trade as a winner. But in the end, they are spending more time in the losing trade. So that's an area for improvement with Nathaniel. But overall, again, I'm talking about him. This is a shout out card. This is not a shoulder tap card. But when I see the metrics that I see, there's always ways. There's always things that you could point out where, hey, think about this, think about that. If you can make some small adjustments, we see big changes over the course of a year trading.
Good stuff, Mick. Super solid stuff. Boy, we're doing okay. We got a couple. I got one quick question for you. I saw this in chat for you, Mick. Do we Topstep, do we ever downgrade a trader from live funded back down to XFA? Do we ever do something like that?
We do not.
We do not. Okay, that answers that. One more question for you. Now that we're doing the minis to micro conversion, in terms of risk, will that affect us in any way, shape, or form? Will anything be any different because of that conversion, or is it just business as usual? It's just 10 minis equal 1 micro, or sorry, the other way around. Is there any effect on the risk department for something like that, or is that just pretty much business as usual for a conversion?
No, Andre, it's business as usual because these products are 10 micros to 1 mini. So whether you're trading 10 micros or 1 mini, the contract sizing all equates to the same thing. So the risk profile is still there. I think it's nice that we're giving traders the ability to do this now on the Topstep X platform because you can more fine tune what your position sizing actually is. So I think it's all good things. And from a risk standpoint, no. There's no difference. There's no difference. If it's 1 to 1 or 1 to 10, no difference there. We're just giving traders the ability to do something a little differently. That's the way I see it.
Love it, Mick. Well, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for the insights. All shout outs today, man. It's great to see these traders put up huge numbers. Real quick, just a quick reminder to everyone know we are resharing the fire drill form today at 1 o'clock this afternoon, and then also 8 p.m. tonight. So with slow markets with Coach Dakota up 11 grand today. Please make sure to tune in for that. If you did miss the fire drill form from this morning, we will be reposting it this afternoon, about a half hour. So, Mick, thank you so much for your time. Real quick, we are making new highs in the S&Ps, NASDAQ, and the Dow. Equities on the move to the upside. Mick, thank you so much. Happy Monday. Let's have an awesome week, man.
Let's make it a great week. Thanks, Andre.
All right, cool. We got group coaching coming up next with JD and Robert. Thank you, everybody. Pay attention. Markets are on the move. See you soon.